What's up, everybody? Another episode of the Two Birds podcast. I'm Jamie, and of course, I'm always with the beautiful. I'm over this side with the beautiful Crystal. Actually, I feel like that we're backwards. There we go. That's better. Yeah.
We
See
were
now
kind of
I'm with the beautiful Crystal over this side. I'm working it out. I'm figuring out my left from my right here all the time. What's up, everybody? We're back. It's a date night. It's another Tuesday night, and we're here. We're here live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I got my Twitter. I got my Twitch going on, and we're on TikTok. And we're on TikTok. We're on them all tonight. And here, and this is where you're going to find about true love, or at least love for the moment. So. Our other host is
show. Wait,
yeah, exactly.
Shit show.
This is the owner of the bar that's licking my ear.
Yeah.
Feeling my nipples.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Or the shit show.
Thanks. Just what I need. It's not even my it's not even my birthday. You know what I mean? But it's her birthday.
My birthday. Jesus, come on. Where's my cup of feel?
I know, exactly. It's this is the type of entertainment that you get on the Two Birds podcast all the time. So, anyways, tonight we're talking about rejection, and I know that everybody has had their opportunity, So there's been plenty of times people have shot their shot, and what happens?
And been rejected.
You get a no. Dude, Matt, are you asking if you get to ask questions? Absolutely, you have to ask questions.
Matt, ask all the questions you want to, my love.
I prefer, and the truth of the matter is why do I have to be 21? I prefer you to be over 21. You absolutely have to be over 18, though. You cannot be under 18 on this show, and that's just because of legal reasons. They want to make sure that we are as particular or as specific as we could possibly be with this. So, but anyways,
we
tonight
tend to talk about inappropriate things for under 18-year-olds and sometimes underneath 21-year-olds. So we just cover our bases.
Correct. That is correct. So as long as you're above 18, we're going to let you slide. We prefer you to be over 21, but sometimes you can't help when your birthday is. So, anyways, so like I said, tonight the show is about rejection, and so
my birthday. No,
it's her birthday. It's her birthday. So everybody, we all have to say happy birthday to Crystal. And Crystal is going to be 39 again.
21 times 2.
42 times 2?
21 times 2.
21 times 2. There we go. 21 times 2. So, and that's the answer to life, the universe, and everything. That number.
Kayla, my love, it's so good to see you. Hey, thank you.
How you doing? I'm coming. All right, awesome. I'm live on my. You want to come say hello? Hi.
Hi.
This is Missy. This is Crystal. It's Crystal's birthday, and this is who I do the podcast with.
Hi.
How old is she?
She's going to be 42.
I am.
You look great.
You look great.
Thank you.
So Missy and I are going to be going to a baseball game this Friday.
Oh,
He's not
I love it.
Great.
So well, you know how I go. We play the Red Sox that day, and she happens to be a Red Sox fan. So
Missy,
we're going to the.
If I see pictures, you better show him up.
Hold on. I'm going to put her on for just a second.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you. Misty, if I see pictures, you better show him up.
I'm so sorry. There's nothing else I would do. That's just how I do things. I think it's actually cute that he thinks the Phillies going to win. And that's okay. That's okay. I'll let him have that for a minute.
That's fine. He can have it. But
The last time she almost got kicked out of the game, so like she was the one causing all the trouble.
Actually, no, it wasn't me. They just gave us better seats. They kicked the Phillies fan out, and they gave us better seats.
Gotcha.
So read it again.
Well, you're the one. I'm only hearing your story as what you were saying.
I was doing great that day. Hey,
Did they win or lose?
Leave me alone.
Did he have to pay?
We did great as far as I'm concerned.
I'm the one that saves his ass, so it's fine.
Listen, the Phillies fans were inappropriate, and they got kicked out, and we got better seats. I'm sorry. I was doing great that day as well.
See, and
They all
she's
have
no
a
longer with
tendency
that
to be
guy.
inappropriate.
That guy's gone. And this is part of the show. We're talking about rejection, and this is how.
Story of my life.
Yes. High
Welcome
five,
to the
girl.
party.
I'm so
I'm on the wrong
I got
side
keys in my hand. I don't know. Oh my god, I want her in my life.
Okay, right side of the screen.
I like her.
Crystal and I have been friends for a long time. She's a Seattle Seahawks fan. So, yeah, I know.
Yo, I have no problem with whoever's fans with who. It's like a love thing to me.
That's exactly it.
It's what you know. Sorry.
Hey, I get it.
I get
And
it.
this is what this is who I'm going to the game with on Friday.
I'm
She's
so
gonna.
excited
She thinks that she's going to
for
outdo
you.
me.
Yes.
You don't outdo the loudest fan in sports.
Oh, it's a competition now?
Well, if
Yes.
we want to make it a competition,
I want to hear you roar.
Here we go. Now I need to get cute.
Girl, you're already cute.
Now I need to look crazy cute.
Yes.
it's only going to be a little bit of
If
fun.
you need ideas, just DM me. I got you, girl.
Good, because I'm going to need some help. Because I got to explain to my girlfriends why I'm no longer going to Ocean City, Maryland. I'm so sorry. In my defense,
Pick up advice and everything. I got you covered.
I'm unsupervised. That's what I'm going to tell them. I was unsupervised. That's why I didn't make it. I'm so sorry.
Unsupervised is probably the best thing ever.
I know, right?
Right?
Oh my God, I love her.
Well, here, you want to come on for the show first? You might as well talk for a few minutes. Hey, this is a dating show, right? So you date?
Can I date her?
See how we start? This is how we got started here. We're starting off perfect.
I love you. You're
way to talk
adorable,
about
but I
rejection
am
here.
sickly.
So I'm just gonna put this down here.
So am I.
Okay.
Sit down for a second. You're gonna take.
I straight just dropped off my 7-pound Yorkie at a house to swing by here real quick because I couldn't leave him in my car. One drink, but I gotta go. I can't stay. I'm Miss
One drink,
Wilcher.
I can't stay. I love her. I will play with your boobs.
No.
Oh yeah, no, I'll play
Okay,
with your
fine.
boobs.
Well, they're very padded, so I might not feel it, but I'll let you.
So am I. It's
All
okay.
right, we're doing great.
We're doing great. We're fine.
But I literally just dropped my Yorkie off at a house at a fire pit to stop up here real quick. And I'm like, I can't stay. I gotta go get my dog. Yes, I drive a convertible and he has his own little car seat and he loves it. So I couldn't leave him home. He gets so excited to take car rides. I'm sorry.
Well, so I have a teddy bear, which is a mix between a Shih Tzu and a Bichon. And he has a cone on his head right now. He has a cone.
What happened?
He scratched himself and he has a big open wound on his neck and he keeps scratching it. So I had to put the cone on.
Understood. He's your heart, though, ain't he?
I know.
Am I?
He's so cute.
He's got sunglasses for my convertible. There's something wrong with me.
There's something wrong with us.
Actually, I think we're pretty great.
Actually, I think we're pretty fucking fabulous. So there's that.
Touche. We should get our dogs together.
We should. We should get together.
I agree.
Right? The next time I come up to Philly, we're having a girls' night.
So you're in Seattle? Oh my God, I have a lot of girlfriends too.
I'm actually down in Florida.
I'm thinking about moving down there because I'm an ICU nurse. I'm thinking about traveling down there.
Calm
Cause
down. Calm down. Calm down.
but I gotta bring my dog.
You can
And
bring him,
apparently my convertible. Because my dog loves it.
right? No, bring him. Bring him. Bring
Okay.
him.
You're not gonna ask me twice.
No, door's open. Come on down.
Well, it was so nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you too. Have so much fun with Jamie on the game on Friday.
Oh, he's gonna hate me by the end of the game.
No, he won't.
She has no idea what she's in for. She has no idea.
I'm doing great, by the way. I'm doing great. I gotta go pick my dog back up.
Go pick him back up.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
She is so cute.
Crystal and I have been friends for a long time. I gotta put all my earphones back in again so that everybody at TikTok can hear me too, and all this other fun stuff.
You do need to come down to Florida. Come down, hang out.
It's such a big deal, I know. So how about there you go. Now you got to see who I'm going to the game with on Friday.
Love her.
I'll look different, I promise. He can't show me up.
You saw what I get painted up like, right? Yeah. So the reason why I'm going to the game on Friday was because I was asked to do the lineup.
Yes, Tampa.
I was asked to do the lineup for the Phillies. So I'm going to be announcing the lineup that day for the Pandemic crew, which is not nothing really big deal, but we're going to the game. It's going to be a fun game. The Phillies are going to beat the hell out of the Red Sox, and she's going to be crying most of the game, but it'll be okay.
I never cry.
It's okay.
Doesn't look cute when they cry.
All right. Well, then she might just get angry. May get us kicked out again.
No.
No, that was so. Read the paper. Read the paper.
That's what she said last time. She goes, I was in the paper. It was a big deal. It was such a thing.
We weren't doing anything. We did nothing wrong. In my opinion, I was doing great.
See, there you go. So
There's nothing else to do but great.
And like I said, there was a husband involved at the time and stuff like that. I'm sure
he didn't make the cut though. I'm so sorry.
Well, that's what happens. That's part of the show that we're talking about. Rejection. Rejection.
It is rejection.
So, but and real quick, just because you happen to be here now and now you're part of the show, why was he being rejected? Why did you get rejected?
From the game?
No, why did he get rejected from you?
Just not my type.
Cut from different cloths. There you go. So, and that's the way that happens. So, Violet wants to respond. Violet wants to come in for a second.
I've got to run.
I know.
I got to get my dog because apparently the babysitters are like, "Come get your dog."
All right.
Bye,
Babysitter.
They just want me by the fire pit. I'm not stupid.
Right, I understand.
You can
It was so
direct
nice to meet you.
Crystal says goodbye.
and heads up and
All right. I'll see you on Friday.
Yes. Yeah, I'll text you.
heads up, move forward. If they reject you, just move
Oh,
on.
no, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I
So-
agree. Crystal.
Happy birthday.
Oh gosh, yes. Happy birthday.
Bye, love.
Thank you for the beer.
Oh, my pleasure. So, anyways, Violet, Violet wants to respond here for a second.
Okay.
What is,
Violet,
I
how
wanna
have
say
you been
happy
rejected?
birthday.
say again?
I want to say happy birthday. Second
Thank
of all, I
you.
don't ever want you to minimize yourself.
No.
It's
Oh, no, that was a show a couple of weeks ago, Knowing Your Worth.
doesn't matter. I want to like. Here's what I want to talk about. It doesn't matter who you are, what your economic status is. Here's what it matters: your self-worth. As a woman, you have to believe in you, and never, ever, ever, ever lose that. The bottom
No.
line is guess what? There's so many good men out there, but you have to save yourself from that because even though
Well, no, you're not going to be able to hear anything out of it. I'm just putting the microphone close to you.
because there's so many good men out there, that doesn't mean that you're going to find that in a podcast or whatever. Here's what matters: believe in yourself, be self supporting, and do what you gotta do to make sure you can take care of you because nobody else is going to do it. Nobody. It's
Violet,
all on you.
yeah, Violet, that's really true.
I'm
That's really true.
62 years old. If you don't take care of you, nobody else is going to. Believe it. Believe that in your heart. There's not a man, woman, child, grandpa, mom, nobody's going to take care of you other than you. So, grow in yourself, be the best that you can be, and believe in you.
Thank you, Violet. That was amazing.
That
Thank
was
you.
amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I absolutely agree. So let me throw this back in there again. Words of wisdom
Words
for
of
everybody,
wisdom.
not just for women. That's for everybody.
No, for men
That's for
too.
everybody. So that's the way it is. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All right, Jamie. So I have 2 questions for you. All
Okay, we got bring them on. Let's throw the questions up.
right. So,
That's my thing.
what is the biggest way that you have rejected somebody, and what is the worst way that you have been rejected? And we can start with number 1, and then I'll tell you my story.
The worst way that I have rejected somebody was I was in a relationship one time where the girl and she started like I needed her to do me like a favor, like and as my girlfriend, and she
Mhm.
completely went nuts on me while I was gone because she went through my stuff and found stuff that was like very old, and she made them like real. And
Yeah.
like while I'm in Atlanta and she's watching my house, she left my house unattended, unlocked, and just left. She's like, okay, because you're crazy and I'm not answering. Like she's calling me like over and over and over and over and over again. I came home and I'm like, you and I are done. End of story. And she went, "Wah!" Like screamed at the top of her lungs. I'm like, I gotta go. See ya. I left. I ran out the door. I'm like, there's no way that I'm even interested in having this type of friggin' conversation anymore whatsoever. Not even a little bit. And then, so the worst way that I was rejected,
Okay.
let's see, this is like an embarrassing one. I was
I want to talk.
Nope. You had your talk. I'm sorry. Nope. This is my show. My show. We're done now.
I can't.
I know. I understand, but it's my show.
All right.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So I was.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah. Okay. I was stood up for my junior prom.
Really? Wow.
Jamie. You're wrong.
So
You're giving wrong advice.
Was there a reason why that happened?
I mean, I was in love with a girl who didn't really, she liked me, but she didn't want to. It never worked out between us. I was in the friend zone. And that's how that worked.
And
And
that's just how that worked.
yeah,
And that's just how
and
that
I
worked.
never got out of the friend zone. And I tried for a really long time, and it never stopped. I was
And it
always in
never
the friend
stopped.
zone.
You never got out of the friend zone.
So
All right. So I'm trying to figure out the biggest rejection that I ever felt. I feel like biggest rejection I ever felt.
I've had lots of small rejections.
I know I've had lots of small rejections. I don't know if I've had one big rejection. I know that the one big rejection that I've given that I completely regret. So my high school boyfriend, um, we were on and off again. He had already graduated, and we were on and off again. And he wanted to go to my senior prom, and I kind of was like, "Why do you want to go? Like, you don't hang out with any of my friends. All of my friends are going to hang out." And I very much rejected him. And he had done everything to show me a lot of that he appreciated me, he adored me, he loved me, and I had done everything to completely reject him. 100% completely reject him. And I didn't realize that until years later. And then I figured that out. And I think that that was one of those things where I did go back and we did randomly run into each other, and I did apologize, and we now have a really good relationship, and we text each other every now and again, and we'll meet up when I'm in Seattle, and we are now good. But I think it's one of those things where, like, between the two of us, it's like, what if that, because our other two friends that we were really close friends with are still married. So I think for him, he's like, what if that didn't happen and we were still together? Would all four of us still be together? There's always that for him, which is kind of weird. And I don't think that that's the case because of other things. But
What's up, Bunny?
I think that that's one of those things that I do regret. I absolutely do regret rejecting him because there was lots of consequences for him in his relationships after me that I influenced because I rejected him in that instance.
You know
And
what?
I
I
should
feel that I feel that guys that get rejected wind up being so they go one of two ways. When a guy gets rejected, they will either become very introverted and take it very very seriously, or they will start to evolve, and it actually helps their confidence. So I was one of those guys that I could take thousands of no's. I was a guy who got no's all the time, and
he
yeah,
he was one of those guys that took it very he took it introvertly. And
and just I'm sorry. The reason why I muted you was because it's supposed to be 21 and older, and you're not 21. So sorry. I wanted that
and
to make
he
sure that I got that out there.
and he held on to that for a long time. And that was one of the conversations we had when we ran into each other and talked about it. And he was like, okay, I get it now. We were just not meant to be. And now he's fine. He's great. He has a very good relationship. He does amazing. And we catch up when I go back to Seattle. But I think it's just one of those things where I feel bad the way that I rejected him because it was not good.
Well,
It
you
was
know
not
what?
good. It was not good. It was not healthy.
When you reject somebody, it's never, it's like breakups. Breakups aren't easy. If they were easy, then everybody'd be doing it and everybody'd be happy and excited and doing their thing. but it's not easy. You know what I mean? And being rejected. So when you're rejected by somebody who actually cares about rejecting you, uh, I'm getting. Yeah, I so anyways, I don't know. Sorry, it gets crazy in here. And so, anyways,
It's getting crazy up in Philly. What's going on up there?
let's
Oh
say
my
it.
goodness.
There's no brotherly love tonight.
No brotherly love up in the Philly doctor area.
So, I I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. It caught me way off guard. It caught me way off
All
guard.
together. Hey! Happy birthday to me!
Happy birthday! Yeah, you know, I, so really, what I think about is rejection is uh, never simple. It's never simple to take. It's never easy to you know to accept. Nobody wants to accept it. I mean, listen. Some people, I can brush it off. Like, hey, listen, you can tell me no all you want, and I am okay with it. Just because I'm all right with that. I don't, I don't mind being told no. I've been told no more than I've ever been told yes, and that's okay. It's part of the fun of me doing my thing.
I think I'm super easy with the rejection when like we first start talking or we first start dating. I think I have a harder time with the rejection when it goes on in our relationship. And then I start to like feel rejected. That's where it becomes a hard time for me.
Right.
That's weird.
Unfortunately. All right. So Violet has left the building.
Violet's left the building.
Yeah, I love Violet, and Violet. You know, I'm now I'm going to talk about somebody that I don't normally do this, but I'm gonna try to give a little bit of background here. Uh, she has had a very, very, very tough paper route, and uh,
God bless Violet.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like I won't go into the details of some of the things that happened to her, but she is got to keep a very strong front in front of her, and it's always big wall, big fight in front of her, and it's tough. It's a tough fight.
No, I don't know, Candace.
So I don't know. I don't know. Like it says,
Trevi,
I
I don't know, Candace.
I wish her the best. That's the hard part about this. Like I wish her the best. I love her to death. I know some of the demons that she's battling, and it makes things tough.
It makes it hard.
So yeah, and especially because there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain, and it comes out in things like this. You know what I mean? In these types of settings, because it's forced some ways that she's got to deal with things. So
I get it. I get it. All right. Well, in that sense, I think I know the biggest rejection that I've ever felt. I feel like the biggest rejection that I've ever felt was when I was married to my kid's father and I was in that abusive relationship and I left and I went through that divorce. I think that was the biggest reject because I thought I could change him. I thought I could make him a better man. I thought I could be that girl, be that woman for him and make him do what he's supposed to do. And very much was rejection to know that I could not do that. And in the end of it, it gave me power and gave me strength. But there's still that rejection from it overall that you have to process through to get to that point.
Right. Yeah, that's like I said, that's why I feel like guys take rejection in one of two ways. Strong guys brush it off. They don't care. It's and I that's this is like a sales technique a little bit.
And
Like
I think strong women, it's the same thing. Nowadays, if I have a rejection, I brush it off. No
well,
big deal.
a strong woman when you think about like rejection, a strong woman doesn't get rejected because they are too busy putting up their barrier to not to control the situation. I find, and it's just personal opinion. I mean, most strong women that I know are not interested. Yeah, they're controlling the situation. That's how I see most strong women.
I don't know, Jamie.
Okay.
I I I I would beg to agree with you, and I would beg to disagree with you all at the same time. So,
Okay. Talk to me.
well, I think a strong woman. I think, um, do we put up fronts? Yes, we are going to put up fronts, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to let our fronts down and not let you in. And when we do that, if we then feel rejected, it's how we respond to that. It's how we respond to feeling rejected at that moment. Like, are we going to communicate with you and say, hey, I feel rejected right now? Or are we going to respond to the fact of, I'm just going to be like, all right, on to the next man up. Like, benched him. Like,
Right. I mean, like I said, it's funny. It's funny when I think of asking somebody out on a date now.
mm-hmm.
It's not a big deal if they tell me no. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, I'm not afraid of, you know, and I liken it now to swiping right. And when you swipe right and you don't get it's a match.
Oh, I don't care.
Exactly. Because it doesn't phase you. You just next,
No.
next, next. I swipe right. I swipe right. I swipe right. Well, now they know that I like them.
Hey, Christine. No, none of that phases me. None of that phases me. What phases me is a couple months down the road where then I feel like I become rejected.
Right. And I, I'm again, whether it's a few months down the road or it's right away. I mean, it's rejection's rejection, and I'm I'm not
And
interested. It's like it's
that's where it turns. So if you go a few months down the way, for me as a woman, we now have our feelings invested, we have our emotions invested, we're here, and we're putting effort into our relationship, and then when we feel rejected, that puts a hard block for us.
well, and yes. So let's go even to a little bit more in depth of what we're talking about when it comes to rejection, because there are a lot of relationships that deal with rejection on a daily basis. A lot of married couples, a lot of
Yeah.
married couples deal with rejection on a daily basis, where you're married and you want to have relations with your wife, or you want to have relations with your husband, and you're tired, you ain't feeling it, you're not excited about it. It becomes work. It's work, and it really is work. It's not
It
no
really is work.
there's no bullshit about that. It's straight work. It is straight work.
It
But
is
that's
straight work.
part of what happens. It's part of what happens. It's part of being in a relationship. You know, it's great when you're in the honeymoon phase and you're banging like rabbits. You know what I mean? Because it's fun and it's exciting. And then the honeymoon phase ends. And
And
then
then what happens?
you start to fight to try because so from a guy's standpoint, I am I'm somebody who likes to look at himself as a pleaser. I like to it is best for me to please my partner.
Okay.
I enjoy that and want I'm a reaction guy. I love watching the reactions. You know what I mean? So I'm big on getting them to the point of a massive reaction. You know what I mean? And that's great. You know, and
I
that's
love you, Jamie.
awesome. But when once you've done that, once you're there, like once you've had that a lot, and you get those reactions, like I always feel like you gotta measure up to that. So when it comes down to the time that I want to do it for me and just me alone, where
Christine,
it's like
it's not all about getting hurt. You just have to put yourself out there to the right person. That's it.
that's a TikToker, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
I I want to like if I don't want to have a half hour, 45 minutes of sex, you know what I mean? I just would rather be like in and out and done and not care about what she's got to feel. The problem is that it becomes very selfish. And I would rather not do that and I'd rather not be selfish and just not do it at all. So, and that becomes a sort of rejection. You're
It
rejecting
does. It
because,
does because at any point in time, are you allowing her to have those selfish moments?
well, it's selfish every time that I do have sex with her because I'm putting in all that effort. That's how I look at it because it's not about me, it's about her at that time.
But that's not true. That's not true.
It is sometimes.
It is sometimes, but not all the time. That's what I'm saying. That's not 100% the truth.
Well, I know that I don't look at it very much around me. Like I don't look at it about me a lot of the time. It's always about when it comes to that, it's always in my mind, it's always about them. And that's why it's work. And that's why it's work.
You,
There's a lot
Jamie,
of times I want to put in that work. There's a lot of times I don't.
so Jamie, you need to figure out what a healthy sexual relationship is for you because a healthy sexual relationship has nothing to do with work.
That is, you just said a mouthful there. You just said a mouthful. You are absolutely correct. It's not about work. It's not about that. It's about being able to be with someone and understand that, hey, listen, there's times when I don't have to put in all that work. I don't want to, like, sometimes it's going to be quick and it's going to not fulfill on one side.
And it may not fulfill on the other side.
Well, that's what I'm
But
saying. There's always going to be one person who's unhappy.
and
Because
that may not be true either. There could be times that that both of you are very happy, and there could be times that one is happy and the other one is happy, or there's one of you that's very happy and there's one of you that's semi happy and then want to do it again. You have to find that balance, but you have to. But if at any point in time you make it feel like it's work to please that person, that's a whole different mindset, because now it's become a job.
right, that is correct, and that's where relationships die.
And
That's where relationships die.
I know as a woman, I don't ever, and this is not even in the bedroom, this is just in everyday life. I don't want to become a job.
Right. You don't want it to be a job.
No, I don't want to be your job.
Right. Now, and I don't want it to be a job. You know what I mean? Sex is supposed to be fun. Sex is meant to be fun. There's
Yes.
time for procreation. When you're making love, that's a whole different scenario. That's when you make love, that's when the emotion of the sex takes over and it consumes the both of you. That's what happens when you're just banging. You know what I mean? It's
It's
not.
two
That's supposed
completely
to be
different
fun.
things.
It's supposed to be fun. That's what
It's
it's
supposed to
supposed to
be
be.
fun.
And that's where the change is. That's where the problem is. That's where the disconnect is. Because when you are in a relationship, those problems that you live with everyday life get in the way of you having fun.
That's a lack of communication. That's a lack of communication. Because even when you are in a relationship, you still need both sides of that. Even when you're in a relationship, you need to be able to go to your partner and you need to be able to say, I need you to make love to me tonight.
But again, it's hard to be able to say, I'm going to make love to you tonight. I am,
I
yeah,
think
again, making love is an inherent situation between two people. When the emotion of the relationship gets, thank you. I appreciate that. Um, they brought my shot over. I was in desperate need of.
Oh, love it. Bring the shot over. JB, I think it's two things. I think if you have that communication with your partner and you say, I need this from you tonight, and there's times where you say, I need you to make love to me tonight, and there's other
See, now
times where
is
I
where
say,
that
I
is
need
where
you to do really disgusting things to me tonight.
that is where the problem becomes, because that's the worst rejection you could get. When somebody's asking for it and you can tell them, I'm just not feeling it tonight. Because that's part of the problem with this, is that there's two to tango here. And if you're not going to be in the same boat, like if you're not going to feel the exact same way, you can't force it. And
So
that's
then,
where yeah,
okay. So then, what is a healthy way to deal with that rejection? What do you do?
well, the healthy way of dealing with the rejection is to be able to try to not to get rejected. But the problem with that is, like, all right, obviously there's always two people that are involved in this, and those two people are not always going to see eye to eye. They're not
Correct.
always going to just mesh in very nicely. Sometimes they're going to, and it's not going to work. So what becomes the challenge, what becomes the big deal, is when, how often is that occurring? And when it's occurring, is it able to get resolved? And you go, so like, okay, you rejected the one time, but a couple days later you get it worked out. You know what I mean? That when you're asking for something, you can't just put it like, hey, I need it right this second, and if I don't get it right this second, it's going to be the end all be all.
No, I don't think that that's the case.
Right. You gotta make it sort of like, hey, listen, I need this from you, and I need you to work it out for me within this amount of time. You know what I mean? So
Right?
yeah. Now this is now that's a good question here. And why do you have to ask? Because you have to ask. You have to ask for it, or else, it's and it's not. And the reason why, and I'm going to leave that up here for a minute. The reason why that you have to ask is because you have to be able to communicate it sometimes.
You have to be able to be on the same page.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just a matter when you're asking for it. You're not you can't look like you can't be begging for it. You're not like, hey, I need this now. Well, you gotta give it to me. Yeah, you can't be
If I
whiny.
don't get it, then blah 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 blah. If you don't
No,
do
but you
this,
gotta
then
you gotta be able to put it out there so
yes.
that they are aware that this is something that they want, that you want, and that they can work towards getting it to you. It may not happen immediate, but they got to be able to start. You got to put the bug in their ear, or else
Mm-hmm.
it never happens. I mean, there's a lot of sexless relationships, sexless marriages that are out there. And if you're not having sex with your partner is having sex with somebody else. And if they're not having sex with somebody else, they are drowning their sorrows. They're, wow, it is getting louder and louder in here. They're like yelling over top of me.
It is. You are
They
not
are
even
yelling over
yelling
top
at
of me.
me.
Michael, it's not that important. Sit back down.
Michael, Michael, calm down.
I was busting balls. I was trying to talk over you. You were talking over me. I was like, oh, it's all good.
Hello.
It's all good.
Hi. No, Christina, you are absolutely right. And I 100% feel you. You are 100% correct.
I mean, just sometimes it's just it's always going to take work. It's always going to be some work involved, and you have to. You got to be able to communicate, work it out, and not have it so that it's all encompassing in 1 minute time. You have to be able to expand and okay,
Expand.
this is not just, hey, one and done. You know what I mean? Like, we are in this for a long haul.
Yeah.
Especially, and that's the problem. That's the hard part, because when and that's why relationships start to fail. That's why there's 50% of divorces out there, because you you get rejected the one time, you get rejected a few times, and it becomes part of the norm of what's happening.
Being rejected.
Of
Yeah.
being Yeah, and then that's like I said. Once you start getting rejected too many times, they're going to go somewhere else to try to get that fulfilled.
100%. I mean, and that's what happens.
It is what happens.
It is what
But
happens. Do we have any TikToks?
we do. You know what? I was just about to go there. It's like, you know what? It's TikTok time,
It's
because
TikTok time.
all right. So this one is a guy that I follow a little bit. I'm going to give a little bit of a preview here. He's not your traditional date guy. So this is more life advice, not dating advice. However, it
I
fell
like
into the
it.
category here. So I'm gonna have to put the ear. I gotta,
AirPods in.
yeah, well, I gotta put the so that everybody else can hear on TikTok.
friend come to me recently needing counseling. She said, Sven, you're a fucker. I said, what are you talking about? She said, you were right again, twice, and now you're in my fucking head all the time. I said, what? She said, well, you know how you're always talking about how people reveal their character through their patterns of behavior, and they reveal their secrets through their anomalies or their deviations from patterns? I said, yeah. She said, well, I've been seeing this guy for like 4 or 5 months, and he was over the other day, and he went to use the bathroom, and there on the vanity, he sees a bottle of sex oil, which we never use. And she said, or he said to me, so who you been fucking? And I said, nobody. I was just cleaning out the cupboards the other day, and I forgot to put that away. He said, bullshit. So now we're fighting. And I realized, Sven, I got to go back and I got to apologize to him. I said, what for? She said, because he saw a deviation from a pattern. And he's right. I have been sleeping with someone. I said, and so you feel guilty? You got to apologize? She said, no. It's that other fucking thing you say, that the worst crime you can commit against somebody is causing them to distrust their own inner voice. So let me ask you, who are you causing to distrust their own inner voice? Lover, spouse, parent, child, friend, employer, employee, and who's causing you to distrust yours? Have a kick-ass day.
It was one of those situations where when I listened to it, I was like,
Love that.
that's perfect. That kind of falls right into this here. Yeah, no, I'm not upset about the fact that I'm
No.
cheating. I'm upset about the fact that I am making him distrust his own feelings. And that was kind of, that was the message that I wanted to kind of push off here. Like that was, and Christine follows him. So
I love you, Christine.
Christine knows what's going on. Christine knows what's going on. So
Christine's been coming our TikTok.
I tell you, you know what? This girl, I love this girl. This girl is always on the guy's side of things. I was going to put 3 different ones of hers up today, and I'm like, nope, one at a time. That's it. So let's hear her.
Good men that are in it for the long run will not care how slow you want to take a relationship. I'm telling you, this is one really easy way to weed the boys out from the men, because men naturally want to move fast. But good men will wait for something that they see as very, very valuable. Boys, on the other hand, are impatient. They will push your boundaries, they will scream and cry, and when you don't give them what they want, they will eventually just move on to the next. So my personal recommendation for any ladies out there that want a serious commitment is to take it slow. And all the good guys out there can just confirm in the comments, please.
I will 100% confirm.
She's always got really good advice, and
She does.
She's really good about taking the guy's side. You know what I mean? Like
She does.
yeah, and that's the interesting part about this is that most of the time you don't see many women take the guy's side of things, and so that's why I follow her. And she's honest about it. She's honest about it, and she's also honest about like a lot of different things. Like I said, I could put up 3 or 4 of her videos every week, and I don't, because I don't want to be all these TikToks about her.
All of them about her.
Right.
I will 100% confirm this. Just because Mr. Big and I have took things very, very slow. Very slow. And I would probably say this is the healthiest relationship that I've ever been in. And we have taken things very slow. And it's good for both of us. And we communicate and we understand each other and we communicate our feelings and where we stand with everything. And it's not what everybody else thinks. It's just about what we think. And we it, honestly, it's been so slow and it's been amazing. And I couldn't ask for anybody better to come into my life.
There you go. And that's what's important about that. So this next one, I don't really remember. Like I listened to it beforehand and I kind of remembered it, and I save a lot of TikToks and then I delete them.
I know. And then Jamie gets the TikToks that I send him on top of it.
Right. And like I said, This one I saved. I listened to it and I saved, although I don't remember what it's about. So I'm gonna play it right
Okay.
now.
Oh Lord. Here we
You
go.
men that are still getting married are killing me. I don't know how many legal studies, psychological studies, facts, data, metrics, and statistics you need. After I say the next thing, pause it and contemplate for 1 second. Look up the story on Tom Brady, who had 6 Super Bowl rings, had earned millions of dollars using his body, and decided to stay home and take a break and spend time with the kids. His wife complained about that and they had to go to counseling. WTF? Look up the story on the guy who plays the newest Superman and why he's not married after 2 engagements. Superman's not even good enough for a woman. Look at the history of marriage. It was invented over 4,000 years ago and was a contract between a father and a husband for somebody to take care of the daughter because they couldn't own anything and weren't independent. Now women are strong and independent. There's no longer a legal contract need for you to take care of that person. Now it's a contract between you and the government to take care of a woman if she decides to leave you. 50% of marriages end in divorce. 80% of those are filed for by women. And for you to think you're going to do better means that 50% that got divorced meant for it to happen, but you're way too smart and way too strong for it to happen to. Men, don't get married.
Yeah, that wasn't as exciting as I remember it. I think I wanted to delete that one. That one, you know,
I was like, Jamie, I heard like half of it and it didn't make any sense. But
yeah.
I
The
was,
guy was talking about how men should not get married, and that the reason why marriage was even invented was because women weren't allowed to own anything, and somebody had to take care of them, and it was a contract between a father and somebody who was going to take care of that woman.
I think we just need to delete that one
Yeah,
altogether.
that one, that's gone. So
Gone.
the
Gone.
last one, what I do remember of this one is that she just had a question, and I wanted you to answer the question.
Oh,
If
what's the
this happened,
question?
if this happens to you.
Okay.
Hold on.
A question for the guys. What does it mean when a guy overshares on a date? I feel like this happens a lot to me. Are they nervous? Are they bored? What's the deal?
Why does a guy overshare on a date?
They are super nervous and they don't know what else to say.
Is that what it comes down to? That they are super nervous, they don't know what to say.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. It's like a really bad interview. It's like when you are in an interview and you go and the interview asks you, why did you leave your last position? And what's your immediate reaction is if you got fired.
I got fired.
But that's not what guys say.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, they make up a different reason.
Right. But they and ha and like, and I, all right, well, like I was kind of late one day and that didn't like really happen. And there was a whole situation behind it. And I was this, that, and the other. And then that's why I got let go. And I wasn't really fired, but it was because somebody didn't like me from the back office and this, that, and the other. And that here and there. And it's the same situation.
Well,
Like when you are on a date and you're like, hey, so why did you and your last relationship didn't work out? And they're like, oh yeah, she cheated on me and she was a bitch and she was psycho and this, that, and the other, and yeah, maybe I did stuff wrong and I was kind of a jerk, but not really. But she did cheat on me. And then you're like, well, like, can you like give more explanation? You're like, and the guy's going, yeah, I don't really want to talk about details right now. And
they never want to talk about details.
no, but then as a girl, as a woman, you're going, apparently something's not adding up here. Red flag.
Right. Well, I don't know. I'm not a sharer like that. So I don't overshare.
Jamie, but you're not that's completely different in your sense. Because you are not a sharer.
No, it's like pulling teeth for me. You gotta really dig in hard to get me to talk.
Right.
I
And
talk more on this show than I
I
really do
know.
in most of my relationships.
I
So
know. And so can I. So can I. Because I'm not a sharer either. It takes me a lot to open up in my relationships. I open up probably more with an our show than anything else. And this show forces me to open up in different ways.
it's what it's supposed to do, though. That was the purpose of having this show like this,
Yeah.
so that we would be able to share more of our personal lives. It's everybody sees us out there, you know, and uh, me a little bit more than you, because it's like it says, I'm out there a lot more frequently than you are. But like when you see all the different things that I am doing, but nobody gets to know who I am. You know what I mean? Like it's hard work to do what I'm doing. You know what I mean? It's not simple work.
No,
To
it is twice as hard as me as a female because I don't get the same notoriety as Jamie. Like I could put on a full face of makeup and dress up and be like decked out, and Jamie could do the exact same thing and be notarized for the exact same situation. But it doesn't mean that we're going to get the same notarization out of that. Like
No,
we don't.
in fact, now I'm starting to get a lot more play.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot more, like Barstool Sports loves to use me, and it's like it's part of it's part of the work that I put in. This is not simple. They've seen me as 5 different versions of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where it's like I put on the you know makeup. That's all it is. It's all it is makeup. I'm
And
passionate.
that's all
I'm
that
loud. I yell at televisions. I'll yell at I'll yell at the game. It's what I do. It's just what I do, and it's not a bad thing. It's just part of being me.
and Jamie and I have this conversation all the time is that Jamie puts on makeup and I put on makeup and somehow it's a different thing.
Not big different. I mean, I'm not looking real pretty when I put on my makeup. I'm looking crazy. That's what everybody looks at me as. Like, what is this nut?
But
But
I put on makeup and I'm considered that I have a filter on me. There's something wrong with me. I need to take more things off. I am a girl. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I need to be put in my place.
I don't believe that.
No, and Jamie, I don't think you believe that at all. Absolutely at all.
Matt, what kind of questions do you want? Matt, I put the thing down here. All you gotta do is come in, Matt. I'd be love to talk to you.
Matt, what do you want to know? Come on, Matt. What do you want to know? What are your questions?
I can ask you thousands of questions, Matt. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about your relationships and some of the things that you're going on. The
I would
StreamYard.
love to.
In fact, here we go. I'm gonna take that down. I'm gonna put it up. Instead of a ticker, we're gonna make it a banner. There we go. So that jump on.
Come on, Matt. Doors open.
This is our,
I know.
our host of the evening. Every Tuesday nights from 8 to 10, they're going to have auctions here. Dolans Bar.
Hello,
And then
my love.
and then of course, Two Birds.
Of course.
I tell you, we keep bringing more and more people in here though. I don't know if they're coming in here to see me, but they're in here drinking. I could say it's on me. But whatever, each their own. But anyways, yeah, Matt. It doesn't matter that you're in Seattle.
No, Matt, come on in.
Listen, we have people all across the country.
Matt, come on in. Join the hunt.
And Matt's from Key West. So
Oh, he's not that far from me.
that is like the furthest. That's the furthest away that you can get in the continental United States.
Other than myself.
From Key West to Seattle. That's about as far as you can go.
It is true.
And Christine's in Alabama. She's like saying, remember, she's in Alabama.
I love Christine.
I know that you're in Alabama, Christine.
Christine, come on aboard, my little love bug. Come on.
We know.
Up.
Come on the show. Everybody wants to. Everybody likes to talk.
I know. Come on aboard. Join us. We love you.
So next week. So I met a few. I met a few sex doctors. Next week, I'm going to try to get one of them on.
Yes.
I am very interested in getting one of the sex doctors on. That's what we're going to have as a conversation piece next week. I met, and it's so ridiculous that I met these sex doctors. I met like 2 sex doctors and somebody who is desperately wanting to come on this show because she wants to bash the guys that she's dated. And I'm like,
I love her already.
And I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. Kimmy B, if you're watching, I'm waiting for you to come on this show. Kimmy B has been away for like the last 3 weeks. And she's going to be away for another week.
I love it already. Let's hear it.
And she's like this little 5'0", redheaded girl who's going to be able to blast all the guys that she's ever dated, all the dating apps and stuff like that.
She's kind of like me, but I'm blonde instead of redhead.
So but beyond that, like my buddy Frank passed away, suddenly, and it was at his it was like at his happy hour, that we met that I met all these girls, and I'm like, you're a sex doctor? Hold on, you're a sex doctor? I'm like, how come I wasn't hanging out with Frank more? You know what I mean? So, like, one's got a PhD in sex.
I would love to talk to her.
That's awesome.
I would love to talk to her because I actually have a very, very serious question for her.
Well, and these are very, very serious women.
And I have a very, very serious question for her.
And they both of them gave me the full explanation of ENM. Ethically non-monogamous. I have learned that I think I fall into that category. God damn it, they're screaming very loud here. So
it's fine.
It is. It is what it is.
But I would love to talk to them because I do have a very serious question for them.
So, all right. Well, next week, one of them will be on. One of them is going to be on next Tuesday.
I love it. I have a very, very serious, intimate woman question for them.
And it'll be the perfect person to ask. So, because like I said, these are very serious women. I also have a buddy that I went to. I mean, I went to elementary school with this guy and worked my way all the way up into like a high school and graduated with him. And he is like the premier male uh, guru for dating in the
Okay.
U.S. It amazes me. It amazes me. I tag him on every one of these shows, and I'm gonna reach out to him as well because like I'm like, hey, listen, I
You
want you to
should.
come on this show. I need you to come on this show. And he does. His name is John Keegan. If you
We
follow,
would love
like,
it.
if you look for him, you could Google his name, John Keegan, and it's the Awakened Life. The Awakened Life, and he helps guys with confidence to be able
Love it.
to deal, to be able to go out there and
Love
get,
it.
ask, for the date and ask for women and stuff like that. Like those are some of the people that have been in my life just throughout. This is why, like I said, and I've loved dating. Like so, and I'll tell you, I'm going to go back into history. You know, there was always three of us. It was me, my buddy Chris, and my buddy Brian, and we all went to summer school together, and we became the best of friends from that.
Hmm.
And it was amazing the dynamic that was caused by the three of us. Like if you put it in terms of a sport, like if you put it in terms of baseball, I was the starting pitcher because I would go up and I wasn't afraid to go up and start talking to somebody. My buddy Chris would be the one that would come over and he would have the middle conversation. He would be the
Yeah.
one that would engage somebody. Like, and normally we're talking to a group of girls. So it would be me that goes up and starts to talk the conversation. He would come up and have the whole conversation, like, and actually do the talking. My buddy Brian would be the closer. And typically that was how we operated. It was like, hey, we're having a party, and this is, why don't you come back to the party? And we would get a lot of people back to the party, and it was always a lot more women than men. And our buddies always liked hanging with us because that's the way it worked. It was always crazy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It was always a fun time. But that's why I was never afraid of rejection because I was always the guy that was going out and starting to talk the conversation, to have that first conversation, be like, hey, I'm going to say hi. Hi. What are you doing? Like if you don't want to talk to me because I'm ugly or whatever, then that's fine. But you got to tell me that because sooner, within a few seconds, and they would know right away. Like if I was winning or losing in that part, like sometimes the starting pitcher goes in and he could throw a perfect game. Sometimes starting pitchers go in and they're getting knocked out in the first inning. And then you need that guy to come in. He needs to be the middle relief. You know what I mean? And
You
we
got
were
to figure it out.
we were always really good at that. Whether I was a cheese ball. You know what I mean? I was a cheese ball. You know what I mean? And
I mean,
cheese
I'm a
sells.
cheese ball, so
Cheese sells. You know what I mean? That's it. The
I feel
cheese.
you,
The
Cindy.
cheesier, the better. The cheesier, the better. And that's what makes it fun. That's what brings up, like, it's humorous. It's funny. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, hey, yeah, like I could use stupid lines. And actually, the best line I would use was be like, hello, hi,
Hi.
here I
I mean,
am. Here I am meeting you.
I'm great at being the cute girl with the cheesy line. That's my thing. I'm great at it. I'm good at it. Leave me alone. That's my avenue. Don't
Right,
break
well,
me out of my avenue.
well, and I was always the guy who was like, I was going to break the ice.
Oh, I will never break the ice. I
Well,
was not
that
that
was my
girl.
job. That was my job. I broke the ice. I was the guy. Okay, end the story. Like, here I am. You know what I mean? This is me. Bam.
No, here's my MO. So here's my MO. I would be the girl that would be awkward, weird, and then I would buy you a shot and send it over to you across the way, and then I would leave. That was me.
I'm denying a drink. I was denying a drink.
I would buy you a shot. I would be like, hey, buy him a shot.
And then I'm gonna go. I'm not
And
gonna
then
leave
I
my
would
number or
completely
nothing.
peace out.
Yeah, me, I would be like, I'd be like, hello. Like first off, like
No,
buying a drink
that's
is so
exactly what I would
cliche.
do.
Buying a drink is so cliche. I ain't buying you a drink. I will buy everybody in the circle a drink, a shot, because I want to do a shot with you. But I don't want to make it seem like I'm singling you out.
But I love that. That's adorable, Jamie. I absolutely adore that.
What that you go out and you spend a ridiculous amount of money. It's like buying roses for all the women because you really want
Yes,
to give one to this one.
yes, yes, because not only do I feel appreciated, but I feel like you appreciate my friends, which makes me more attracted to you.
Well, maybe. Or you're like, well, is he interested in me or is he interested in everybody else? You know what I mean? That's
Oh,
the problem.
if you are directly talking to me and then you say, I want to buy you a shot, and then you say, what do you want? And then you order a round of shots for me and my girlfriends, then clearly you want to talk to me. And now you're being a super nice guy and spreading the love around.
Got ya. Well, and that's kind of how I do it. Like I want to buy everybody a shot because I want to have a shot with you. You know what I mean? That's just how I like to do that type of stuff. And it makes it so that it's not awkward, and it
Right.
forces you to
It
have the
does.
shot, and then it forces you to have the shot. Because if I bought you a shot, now
And I
that's
bought everybody else a shot. You
right.
can't say
Everybody
no.
gets a shot. You can't say no. Right?
Can't say
Yeah.
no.
Because ultimately, I'm cheersing you. I could care less about everybody else. I'm like, yeah, yeah.
It
Hey,
also opens up the conversation and it's really hard to then go as a woman to go into it like you just bought me a drink and clearly you're interested in me, but you are not aware of my surroundings. So as a woman, I like the fact that you wanted to buy me a shot and you wanted to do a shot with me. And then you clearly thought about how that was going to happen. And if you had to buy a shot for all of my girlfriends to make that happen, that's impressive. I'm impressed. You've upped your game at that point with me. You have upped your game at that point with me.
right. Not many guys are going to do that though.
No,
Because
nope. A lot of guys will not do that. But you have upped your game with me if you do that.
and there you have it, guys. All you got to do is just buy everybody a shot, and you get it, and you're in.
I mean, you're not getting laid, but you're in.
Hey, you know what? It's not all about getting laid. Getting laid will come after a few more shots.
Not for this girl.
No, because she gets too drunk, and then you gotta carry her home, and then and then you can't sleep with her. So, um, neither here nor there. Like I said, I find that's like I said, it's one of those things that I like to do just because it
It's
it,
sweet.
it softens everybody up. It makes it a little bit easier. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to be the sleazeball ever. You know what I
Don't be a
mean? It's
sleazeball,
yeah,
ever.
and it's easier for me to be like, okay, hey, I'm showing a little bit of interest in you by talking to you in the first place. If you
Mhm.
can't figure that out, then that's a shame. Because truth of the matter is, I don't talk to everybody.
No. Nope.
If I like you, I want to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
However, I also don't want it to be
Weird and awkward.
an end all be all either. Like I'm like, hey, listen, I dig you. Like I think that I would like to learn more about you.
Why does it have to be an end all be all?
It's not about fucking. You know what I mean? It's not about the sex. It's not about that. It's a matter of just getting to the point. Like, okay, I want to learn about you. Maybe if I learn about you enough and I like you enough, I might be interested in having sex with you.
Yep.
But I don't have to go to that right away.
No.
Now, there are certain ones that I'm like, hey, I like you enough that I want to have sex with you right away. I'm a guy, you know what I mean? I'm a guy. So, like, let's be for
I
real.
mean, I feel like it goes back to the sense of like sometimes you take things slow and you evaluate your situation, you evaluate your circumstances and what you want and where you are in your life and what you want out of your life, and that either way it's not a bad thing. Like, do whatever's good for whatever's going on in your life and whatever's good for the two of you. What, Dan? What do you want, Dan?
No, it's what he's saying exactly the same thing. If you see a table full of ladies, you buy them all a drink and say it's from your buddy.
I know. That's
And
because
it's a great way of starting the conversation. I agree.
I love Dan. Dan's adorable. I absolutely adore him. And if I was sitting at a table with a lady full, he would buy drinks for all of us. He is adorable. I love you, Dan. And I can't wait to go watch a Seahawks game with you.
I was gonna say the only reason why you love him is because he's a Seahawks fan. That's it. That's the only reason. He's buying you drinks and he's a Seahawks fan. I don't care, Dan. I don't care because I'm not a Seahawks fan and I'm not a chick. So you ain't buying me any drinks,
He would
and you're liking the wrong bird.
That's not true because if you were sitting at a table with all of us, he would absolutely buy you a drink.
I know that he would. I know that he would.
I love Dan. Dan's adorable. Don't pick on him.
There you go, Ed. He loves you too. He loves you too. He says happy birthday, although he doesn't realize it's your birthday yet.
It's Thursday. It's fine.
He's like, and yes, he would buy everybody a drink. I understand. I understand. And I appreciate that about you, Dan.
And I love him and I adore him.
You don't leave a bird behind.
Don't leave a bird behind. And I can't wait to see you again. I want to make it home for a home game this year.
Well, listen, guys, we're getting close to the end here. So
I know we're at an hour and like 30
it's getting louder and louder here. So I can barely hear anymore.
I know we need to peace out.
But hey, listen, I appreciate everybody that stuck with us all night long. It's been a great show. Next week we bring in the sex doctors. That's going to be a lot of fun. If we talk about
the sex doctors, are we supposed to talk about my really bad experience with a dildo?
I feel like that we should be talking about that earlier. We could start that conversation, but that conversation is definitely better without the sex doctor involved. We're talking about serious stuff, not escapades with a dildo.
Until next week.
Because now I have lots of questions. Because inquiring guys want to know. But listen, everybody, thank you so much. Again, another, you know what? We've done this 11 times. 11 times. There's been 11 shows of this. Or was this 12? I don't even know. Was this the 11th? No, this was number 11. Number 11. Two Birds Podcast, 11 shows. And we ain't stopping. We ain't stopping. Every Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night.
Stop, don't stop. Get it.
And don't forget, you got to still, we're still sharing this out. We're still trying to set somebody up here. We ain't got nobody on the dating show yet, but we're still working it out.
We don't have enough people set up in the same states that we can mix and mingle. So you all got to fill out applications. Come on. Do it.
Got to get it worked out.
We really want to set somebody up.
Let's make it happen. Everybody, thank you so much. We are Two Birds. You guys have a great.
Jamie
Everybody.
Crystal.